Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Islanders are a playoff team. Yes, indeed. It was a sweltering spring evening on Fan Appreciation Day at UBS Arena as the New York Islanders would play their 82nd and final game of the 2022-2023 NHL season against the Montreal Canadiens. This was the most important game of the season, bar none. Win and in was the motto headed into Wednesday night, as they needed actually just one more point to clinch the final wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. If they lost, their destiny would have been in the hands of the Pittsburgh Penguins the following evening against the Columbus Blue Jackets. They did not like those odds, so they knew they needed to win that night. Focused on the task at hand, the Island would once more turn to Ilya Sorokin, needing yet another superstar performance in order to secure the Isles' date to the dance. Montreal, on the other hand, with Carey Price still MIA, would try to play spoilers with Sam Montembeault between the pipes, so let's take a look at how the two goaltenders lined up. Montembeault picked up about half the games for the Habs this season, sitting at a lackluster 3.42 goals against average and a save percentage of just a hair over 900. Ilya Sorokin, on the other hand, is undoubtedly in the top two running for the Vezina Trophy. He sits among the league's best with a 2.34 goals against average and an impressive 934 save percentage. There should be a huge disparity between these netminders, but there is one stat in which they are equal in their struggles. And shockingly, it's rebounds. Ilya Sorokin and Sam Montembeault are tied for the second worst in the NHL in most rebounds allowed per save at .065. That's just awful. But this is actually a testament to Sorokin's control and positioning. If you're watching an Ilya Sorokin game, you will see his poise and his focus in the net. He doesn't overreact to saves. He doesn't take unnecessary risks. And bottom line, he just doesn't let the puck in the net. But another notable detail about Wednesday night's game was that Josh Bailey was in the starting lineup in place of Simon Holmstrom, much to the dismay of Islanders fans before the game, because he was a healthy scratch for the last 3 games. Yet Lane Lambert showed some faith in the struggling veteran. Bailey would make some solid passes and created smart line change opportunities, even though he wouldn't scratch the score sheet in the entire game. Let's start with the first period, where after 10 minutes of even play and a clutch save or two from Ilya Sorokin, mind you, the Isles would strike first, and oh Nelly, who else but the heart and soul of the blue and orange would display remarkable patience once again, and he would put the puck in the corner of Montembeault's net. Take a look at this goal.
Quick pass to Nelson. Has Engvall. Nelson shoots. Scores! Islanders get the first goal, and who else? Brock Nelson.
This was one of 2 goals for Nelson in this game, highlighting the fact that he has been the premier goal scorer while Barzal was out and Horvat was struggling. I got the chance to ask him about what leadership that took after the game. Here's what he had to say.
I think just showing up every day, continuing to work and lead by example. I know we have guys that are more vocal than I am for sure, but just want to go out there, and we have a lot of guys that are older, veteran guys that have been around and know how to get the job done. So we knew we just needed to start with one and kind of get on a little bit of a streak, and I thought we were able to do that.
Poor breakout awareness from defenseman Noah Dobson would unfortunately allow the Habitants to tie the game up with 2 minutes remaining in the first. Once the air was sucked out of UBS Arena and you could hear a dime drop in there, young phenom Hudson Fasching would yet again light the lamp to send the Isles into the intermission with a little bit of a spring in their step, up 2-1. I'd just like to note that this was the loudest I've heard this place all season. Belmont Park was rocking on Wednesday evening, and for all intents and purposes, this felt like a playoff game, because it kind of was. But the plan for the second was pucks on net for the Fishermen, which makes sense going against Montembeault, who lets up a lot of rebounds. Dobson would make up for his earlier blunder by wristing 1 goal onto the net for Zach Parise to send home the veteran with a very clutch goal heading into the playoffs. A power play would follow for the Isles, but that blessing turned out to be a curse. I'm not even going to introduce this. Just look at it.
Spot Bolduc's got to hurry here. Suzuki's coming hard. Sorokin came out of his net. He scores. Nick Suzuki.
That's the future of the Canadiens right there. That is Mr. Nick Suzuki with what seemed like an impossible goal. And I don't want to take anything away from him. That goal is fantastic. But Sam Bolduc, the Islanders defenseman, should have been first to that puck. All right, there is no excuse why he should be caught flat-footed there. It led to the goal, and Lane Lambert let him know that he messed up. Sam Bolduc would not touch the ice for the rest of the game and would ride the bench right next to Semyon Varlamov. Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Islanders, after the Hurricanes' victory over the Panthers on Thursday, are the first wildcard team and will face those same Hurricanes in the first round of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. Nobody was expecting this team to make the playoffs before the All-Star break. And after the All-Star break, take a look at the playoff odds on January 27th. You see that little sliver right there? That tiny little sliver at the bottom of the screen? That's the Islanders. And since that date, they went 19-9-4. To all the doubters, including you, I see you doubting. Stop doing that. When the New York Islanders play the Carolina Hurricanes, I need you to ask yourself a couple questions. First, who has the better goaltending? No, better yet, who actually has a definite starting goaltender? Because I can tell you right now, it's not the Carolina Hurricanes. Kochetkov? Anderson? Ronta? I honestly can't tell you who's starting game one. But what I can tell you is that Ilya Sorokin will be in between the pipes in Raleigh. And if things don't work out, I still like Semyon Varlamov over any of the Canes goaltenders. With that out of the way, let me ask you a second question. Do you like Matt Barzal? Because I do. And guess what? He is back. It was just announced today is Friday, that he will make his first appearance in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. That means Horvat and Barzal return to action on the same line. That is trouble. And finally, let me just ask you just one more question. Do you like Sebastian Aho? Well, guess what? You're getting two of them. That's right. There is a Sebastian Aho on the New York Islanders and a Sebastian Aho on the Carolina Hurricanes. It's up to you to decide which one is better. Monday, Sebastian Aho versus Sebastian Aho. Islanders versus Hurricanes. Who's excited? I'll see you there. For WFUV Sports, I'm Nick Palmer.